Welcome back, guys. This is the King Weaves here, and this is why if Naruto was a neglected Hyuga part 2. Last time we left off with Naruto actually asking Kakashi to train Team 7 like a normal team leader would, and Kakashi this time actually accepts because in the original he never really got asked to do it, even though the Hokage pretty much made it clear that they have to train their students. Kakashi is a lazy one, and his team was already pretty strong, let's be honest. Like, not Naruto as in Sasuke could literally carry the team. He was already a tuning level ninja at the point, since he was able to beat two like tunings which were actually very known. You know, the demon brothers, like they were like legendary ninjas. Like they knew like the two demon brothers. Like who would give it a name? What kind of name is that, first of all? But still, if they have such a reputation, of course, they must be strong, right? And anyway, Sasuke was able to take them out without even using jutsu. He just used taijutsu. And anyways, of course, now in this way, Naruto is like on par. Well, I wouldn't say on par since he's much stronger than Sasuke in the original, which right now Sasuke is on near the same spot as in the original. But Kakashi realizes that Sakura needs to be trained too, and if sometimes my voice kind of sounds weird, it's because I have a blocked nose and I can't talk. Again, I can't talk as well when my nose is blocked for some reason. I don't know. Sorry, my sister had to walk in, and anyway, of course Naruto and Sasuke were already strong, but Sakura wasn't. So he's like, maybe Sakura can get some training in, and Sasuke can get even stronger to even match Naruto, since he's already like a prodigy. Naruto isn't, he is kind of a prodigy, but at the same time he works harder than a prodigy, and that's why he seems to be one. Even though he's a Hyuga, he's more like a Hinata, just that work much harder than her. And I'm not saying Hinata didn't work hard. She worked very hard, in fact. And we know that. Everyone knows that she worked very hard. I mean, she put up a fight against Neji, and he was a prodigy. But of course, Neji absolutely finessed her. But anyways, now, of course, the training begins for the next month or so. And during this month, there's a lot of things that went down. Sasuke and Sakura actually learning tree walking and water walking. They had the time for that. That took around like a week or two, and yes, a week or two, because Sakura, even though she had exceptional chakra control, she was extremely she was struggling a lot with the water walking, while Sasuke at first he was struggling with the tree walking, but after getting that down within a week he's been able to do both, while Sakura took a bit longer. But Naruto helped Sakura out by actually giving her a tip. And anyways, now, of course, Sasuke and Sakura do ask Kakashi why Naruto is not doing this, and so Kakashi says, well, you see, I personally trained him, he already knows this. And Sasuke's like, how's this happened then? Why does he get special treatment? And Kakashi says, because his life was in danger. And anyways, Sasuke never really understood why Naruto's life was at danger, but Sakura kind of did. Sakura actually remembers one thing that a friend Hinata told her once, that Naruto, being a Hyuga, is hated by the Hyuga clan because of something that happened in the past with his parents or something. And of course now Naruto actually was hated by the Hyuga clan for not being a full Hyuga and actually being partially, half Uzumaki. And anyways, of course, Sakura then asks why, how does that change anything? And basically Hinata then did explain that the Hyuga clan the Hyuga clan are really proud of their, blood, and how they're full Hyugas, 100% Hyugas, and so they don't like it when someone else has the Byakugan but they're not a full-blooded Hyuga. It's like they need to have both parents as Hyugas for them to be considered as Hyugas. But if not, it's not happening, bro. See, you're not Hyuga. You're dead. Get the fuck out. Either you die or you leave. And anyways, of course, Sakura kind of understood why Naruto had to train and why Naruto really had a bad childhood. She kind of felt bad for Naruto because here, Naruto wasn't annoying anyone. Naruto was just tried his best to survive at this point. And anyways, before he was trying his best for people to notice him, but now he was trying his best to survive because one of the strongest clans, well, the strongest clan in the village right now, because the Uchiha clan got destroyed. Of course, the strongest clan was after Naruto, and even though Hokage would have a hard time to verse every single Hyuga, of course he'd beat the shit out of every single one individually. But I'm saying, let's talk about every single Hyuga versus Naruto put together. That's not Naruto versus the Hokage. And I know some people would say, why would they go against the Hokage? But remember, this is the Hyuga clan before Naruto's revolution, or before they actually realized that, you know, it's not that bad interacting with others or being friendly, you know. And this was explained in Boruto, even in a filler. Yes, in a filler. And no, I don't think that was a filler. I'm not sure. I can't really tell which one's a filler or not at this point because of how Boruto is made. Like 72% of it is fucking filler, so I don't know what's filler anymore. That's why I read the manga. Sometimes I watch the anime just like here and there. Like in the latest episode 198, oh, that looks sick. And the next one, oh, even better. 199 looks sick. I recommend Boruto to everyone, anime or manga. I mean, if you're an only anime, I don't blame you. But if you hate fillers, I don't particularly hate them. I just dislike them because of me having PTSDs from Naruto, because I didn't know what fucking filler was, and I had to watch for every single one of them, and I was like, hey, oh, wait, hold up, this is not part of the story I was watching before. Did I miss an episode? So I used to like search it up, still couldn't find anything because most of the shit was in English when I searched up Naruto. I could barely find any Italian then, and I could barely read Italian because I was dumb as fuck. And yes, I was Italian. I used to watch Italian dub. Anyways, now, of course, Naruto did train really hard, and after that, of course, so Naruto actually joins their training sessions when Kakashi is actually asking them to find out, to put chakra in the chakra nature paper. You know how to find the, I forgot what they're called, but to find out what chakra nature you have, and pretty much she has earth and water, but I'm just gonna say she has water because Sasuke finds out that he has light. Of course he has fire already. That's a given to every Uchiha, but then he finds out that he has lightning. So of course Naruto's like, this is a perfect combo, and they ask why. Well, Sasuke kind of asks why. I know Sasuke's battle smart, not as much as a book smart, but Sakura was, and she's like, well, he's right, because I have water, you have lightning. If I can use a water technique that has an area of effect, AoE, so basically water goes everywhere. Of course not area of effect, but then Sasuke could just add lightning to it, and it'd make it pretty much impossible for someone to step on it because they'd get electrocuted. Of course Sasuke understands straight away is that could be a very strong technique, a good combo too. But of course, Sasuke wants to do everything on his own. Remember, he's not going to have their help when he's fighting Itachi, because he doesn't want their help to fight Itachi, because he wants to kill him with his own two hands. And anyways, of course, the dude train. Sasuke is actually already training in the Chidori because of just how strong he is, and Kakashi realizing that he already has this Sharingan. Yes, I'm going to give it to him. I'm sorry if you guys don't like that, but I need to make it a bit different from the original, right? Because if I don't, it's going to be literally the same story with just a bit of training with Team 7 and Naruto being a Hyuga, which wouldn't change too much of the story. Well, it would. I'm joking. It would change a lot of the story. For example, the tuning exams, and then, for example, the fight against Sasuke, and then in Shippuden, the Byakugan could have helped Naruto in many different ways. Anyways, I'm not going to mention every single one of them because there are millions of possibilities where Naruto could have used the Byakugan. For example, against against Orochimaru, he could have just used the Byakugan, and against Sasuke when he finally found him again, or maybe even against Akatsuki when he was fighting them. Pain, especially Pain, because he could have blocked Pain. If he got a hit on Tendo Pain, he could have blocked every single chakra point of Pain, and then Nagato wouldn't be able to send chakra through it, put chakra into Pain anymore, and he would be the Pain wouldn't be able to move anymore. The word doesn't come to my mind. Incapacitated. Yeah, incapacitated. All right, I asked Siri what it means, and she said incapacitate. All right, there we go. I know the word. Shush. Anyways, incapacitate, pain, and then he would be able to get an easy win. But anyways, now, of course, Naruto and Team 7 do train together. Naruto actually helps out both of them because Sakura's actually learning the Water Shockwave due to her due to her very good chakra control. She could learn a very strong jutsu, and Sasuke is learning the Chidori, which Kakashi is helping him with that. Sasuke has only the one Tomoe Sharingan for now, but he will unlock the two Tomoe soon enough. By the training exams, I'm pretty sure he would have the three Tomoe. But anyways, now Naruto and Sakura do become very good friends while they train, and Sakura sees how kind of a person Naruto is, and she understands why Shikamaru, Choji, and Hinata are actually friends with him. He's so kind, and he doesn't seem like the cold type that she thought he was. And the distance type. Once you get to know him, he's very kind and generous. And Sakura gets to learn this the hard way, since now she has to train while learning more about Naruto. But Naruto helped her quite a bit, and within the month she was able to learn it. I know it's just one jutsu, but remember she did learn. Well, it was 2 weeks because she did take 2 weeks to get her chakra control perfect and everything. How to walk on water. And remember, this isn't something that you really learn when you're getting. Okay, you learn how to walk on trees, water, and shit. But let's be honest, the water shockwave is a strong jutsu, and not only does it leave water everywhere, it's a very strong jutsu. As in, it can hit people hard. It's not just the jutsu to put water on the ground, because you can do that easily, but let's be honest, it hits hard. And anyways, the more chakra you put in it, the bigger the water shockwave is, and Sakura can eventually make it into a water tsunami, which Naruto already knows how to do. Yes, Naruto has that much chakra that he can make the water shockwave into a water tsunami, which would hit someone very, very hard. Let's be honest, it's a tsunami, for fuck's sake. It's a natural disaster. And anyways, now Naruto and Team 7 are pretty strong by now. Sasuke hasn't mastered the Chidori, but he's very close to it, and he's not really falling behind because he already knew a lot of jutsus from the very beginning. And during this training, he's actually unlocked the two Tomoe Sharingan in one of his eyes, and one Tomoe in the other one. And anyways, Kakashi is really proud of his team. Naruto didn't really learn anything because he didn't need to, even though in his spare time he was trying to learn the Rasengan, which it wasn't coming out too well, but he was able to get to the third step, which was a lot harder for him. Because remember, his chakra control isn't as good as Sakura's. If he had chakra control as good as Sakura, which right now he probably would be close to, he wouldn't have a problem with the normal jutsus that he couldn't learn, for example, the clone jutsu and the other transformation. Some people say that he can use transformation jutsu, but others say that the only type of transformation he can do is jutsu. But anyways, now, of course, Naruto and Team 7 do ask for a higher ranked mission at this point because they were very bored of them. Even Sakura asked here, and of course the Hokage actually knew that Naruto and Kakashi were helping the other two train, and they may be ready for a C ranked mission. And so they do get a C ranked mission, and Team 7 meets Tazuna. And here Tazuna makes a joke about Naruto, saying, "Why do I have this kid? Look at his eyes. Oh, a monster." And anyways, of course, Naruto says this monster can protect you, and pretty much just lets out a bit of his, not bloodlust, I wouldn't say, just a bit of his aura, I would say. And Tazuna gets pretty shook. Okay, it's bloodlust. And anyways, of course, he said, "Alright, I'll take this team." And he realizes that Naruto must be higher than a Genin. And even though he's considered as a Genin, just from what he can see, just from that, because no Genin that he's ever met could ever scare him that much whenever he makes fun of them. And anyways, now, of course, now Naruto and Team 7 was getting ready. They weren't going to train on this day, but Naruto continued his training, same as Sasuke. Sakura actually took a break, even though she shouldn't. From what Naruto told her, to always train each day, even if you're not going to train together, you should train at least a little bit. And anyways, now Naruto was doing his normal training of trying to learn the Rasengan, and the next day, of course, they all meet up to go What was that? Whatever. The next day, they all get ready to go to the mission, and of course, on their way, they did realize that there's a puddle for some reason, which shouldn't be there since it wasn't raining the whole entire month. And once the two demon brothers appeared, Sakura used the water shockwave, which actually stopped them from moving, well, incapacitated them for a second, which then Naruto came in with Naruto actually threw a kunai at the chains that they were actually holding together, and he snapped. Literally, Naruto here right in the middle, and he snapped, and Sasuke took one of them out. Because why not one? Well, he could have taken both of them out, but one of them was actually, they were both pulling the chain pretty hard, and once he snapped, they both went in two different sides. Sasuke took the right one, and then Sakura actually came in with a pretty strong punch, and this is something she learned on her own. That's why she was actually taking a break, because she already knew something that was very strong, and Naruto's like, damn, that's a lot of power, and pretty much Sakura was able to make a little crater into the ground, and Kakashi's like, they remind me of some people, and pretty much what he means is that they remind him of the three legendary Sani, how Sasuke is very distant, like Orochimaru. Sakura is very strong, like Tsunade, and Naruto is more of a knucklehead. Yes, he is a knucklehead. If you know him very well, he is a knucklehead, just like Jiraiya, and he's very strong. Remember, Jiraiya was very strong. And anyways, now Naruto actually does tie them up as fast as he can, and Kakashi then asks them questions. Of course, why are they here? Who are they after? And blah blah blah. Of course, once getting the information, Kakashi lets them. Naruto says, Kakashi was about to kill them, but then Naruto says, how about we let them go? Give them a second chance in life. If we hear about them again, we'll hunt them down. They are wanted ninja after all. And anyways, the two demon brothers beg for forgiveness, and they will never do it again. They will even stop being ninjas. And Naruto actually lets them go. Kakashi's like, you shouldn't do that, right? And Naruto's like, well, if I hear about them again, I'll kill them. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto, pretty much, they left Zabuza after this, and since in the original they were left tied up to be arrested or something, from what I can remember. But anyways, after that, of course, Naruto and Team 7 did beg Kakashi to continue, and Kakashi realized that Naruto's here. Naruto's literally a Jonin ranked ninja, and he can, even though he's not officially, he'll still have to go through the trials and tribulations of becoming a Jonin, just like everyone did. Of course, he still took them, and if things got bad, he could just, begin trying, since he is a very strong shinobi, as many people know him as. And anyways, of course, in the end, they do meet Zabuza, and Zabuza does attack them, but Naruto was actually able to deflect the sword, which Zabuza caught mid-air, and after that, he pretty much landed and said, well then, that was a good one, kid. And pretty much Naruto then just looks at him and activates his Byakugan, and as he was about to go and attack, Kakashi puts his hand onto his shoulder, saying, Naruto, I'll take him on. And pretty much Naruto then deactivated his Byakugan, and Sakura and Sasuke saw how much chemistry the two have. Like, as soon as, Kakashi didn't really say anything. Naruto was ready he was about to go and fight him, but then Kakashi just put his hand on his shoulder, and Naruto turned everything off and just stood back as Kakashi went on to fight Zabuza. And after this, Naruto said, do not get in his way. And pretty much Sakura asks, why can't we help him? And Naruto says, I was trying to help him, you'd just be a drag. He's way stronger than all of us put together. You can take him on. He's way stronger. And anyways, of course, Zabuza in the end does lose. Is luckily able to get Sasuke into the Kakashi into the water prison. But then Sasuke and Sakura actually pull off the same thing that Naruto and Sasuke did in the original. This time it was the other two, and the two were actually building up a very good relationship with each other. And Sakura was happy with it. She wasn't like head over heels anymore for Sasuke. She was like, if I can get him, I can, but I'll try. And if I can't, it is what it is. Anyways, of course, she's gotten over her old self. She realizes that if she keeps going like that, she will eventually die in battle, and she doesn't want to die yet. And anyways, now once Kakashi is actually back Sakura and Sasuke taking back on Naruto, is actually taking on Zabuza for a second there for Kakashi to recover. And as soon as he stands back up, Naruto was about to finish the fight by actually using the technique that he thought that he could use at this point, and he's like, might as well just try. If I fail, I die anyway, so I have to succeed in this one. And pretty much Naruto pulls off the Rasengan, and he's able to do it with one hand. And he was about to smash into Zabuza until Zabuza falls down to the ground, and Naruto pretty much misses completely and hits the ground next to him, and Zabuza and Naruto get blown away. And while Zabuza gets caught by Haku, he's like, well, I killed him, now I shall be going. And he actually left without actually saying anything. This time, if Naruto found out what was happening, he would kill him, and Haku wouldn't stand much of a chance. He would. Zabuza considered Haku as stronger than him, so Zabuza pretty much knew that Haku could actually take on at least Naruto, well, from what he's just seen. And anyways, Naruto used pretty much one of the strongest techniques that he's ever had. But anyways, now Naruto can make the Rasengan stronger by actually adding more chakra to it and doing all those kind of shites. But right now, that was the first time he pulled it off, so he wanted to put the exact amount of chakra that he needed, and he didn't want to mess up by putting too much and making it too strong for him to handle and then explode onto himself and then lose the fight. Anyways, of course, now Naruto and Team 7 do get taken to Tazuna's place as per normal because of what happened. And here Sasuke continues his Chidori training, while Sakura actually spends her time training her punches and how to punch really hard, just like Tsunade, because that is her idol, and anyways, or her aspiration to be like. And she knows that Tsunade was a healer, and she was one of the strongest, well, some say the strongest kunoichi out there. But then we know that there is someone like Fu and Yugito, perfect Jinchurikis, who can destroy, like, would they be able to, I'm pretty sure they would be able to fire off a tail beast bomb, which Tsunade wouldn't be able to deflect. There's no way, unless she uses the 100 healing jutsu, 100 healing seal, or the Byakugo seal, then maybe. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not really good at these kind of stuff, but I know that they're all strong. And anyways, now of course, Naruto continues his training, and this time he's actually trying to complete the jutsus of the Rasengan. First, he's adding more chakra to it to make it more dense and stronger, because from what he's read in the scroll ceiling, the Rasengan is meant to be like what a tail beast would be, but in a more human handling size. Not everyone is a Casey and Biju mode Naruto who can just summon the Kurama thing, not Kurama avatar, and use a massive tail beast mode. Not everyone is like that, but of course he understands that the Rasengan is meant to be like a replica of the tail beast bomb, a much watered down version, of course, but is what a human can handle, and he can get stronger. And it's an incomplete jutsu. From what Naruto can understand is that he can add a chakra nature to it. By adding a chakra nature to it and transforming its form, it will make it stronger. And Naruto, of course, by now he has all 5 chakra natures. Yes, he has unlocked every single one of them, and the easiest one for him to use is his wind release, because that is his affinity. And anyways, now, well, not affinity, but that was the first one he's ever found out about. Wind and water, I'm pretty sure, or was it wind? Or was it lightning and water? I said, but whatever. He likes wind the most, and so he tries adding wind release to it. But as soon as he did, he realized how powerful he got, and before he could actually disperse the Rasengan, he actually exploded in his hand. And Naruto has felt this explosion before in his hand, like when he failed the Rasengan, but this one was so much stronger that his hand had cuts everywhere. Before it was just bruises, now it's cuts, and he was bleeding. Of course, Naruto wraps his hand with bandages, and this time he actually uses a clone to actually help him control the amount of power the Rasengan holds once you add chakra release to it. Because just once Naruto added like a little smidge of wind release to it, it became so strong that Naruto couldn't handle it anymore. And so he used the clone, which actually helped him a bit more. But once he realized that even the clone literally exploded, well, not exploded, but literally poofed away because of the amount of chakra Naruto was putting. Well, the amount of chakra it needed to hold the Rasengan, the clone couldn't handle it anymore, and it poofed away. And Naruto realized that he needs to do something about this, and instead of actually dispersing the Rasengan like he would have, he actually continued to try and hold it in. And at first he was getting close to it, holding it in, but then as soon as he realized that, well, he tried his best, there's nothing else he can do, he actually dispersed it and realized that this is his next mission, and this is the next jutsu he needs to complete, the Rasen Shuriken. Yes, he calls it the Rasen Shuriken already because he realizes that once he adds wind release to it, the Rasengan gets little blades on the side of it, 4 different blades which spin around and make it really sharp. And he realizes that if he can change the form of the Rasengan into a shuriken, he could actually throw it, which would make it very strong. But then Naruto wanted to try different types of Rasengans. He added wind release to it first. Now he added lightning release to it, which was a lot easier for him to control for some reason. But this Rasengan was a little bit, I would say, a little bit weaker than the Rasengan that he already had. It's actually the sheer power of it was already strong, but this one was a bit weaker, and it was floating a bit more in his hand than the Rasengan would be. The Rasengan usually Naruto could like hold it and then use it, but this one was floating over his hand, and he was like, should I try it? And of course, since he was floating, Naruto's like, maybe I could throw it. So he does throw it, and then it disappears. But then Naruto sees on a tree that the tree actually exploded. Literally, the tree trunk was destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but there was a hole in it. And, well, not hole, it was literally smashed like a Rasengan would do it. And the tree fell down. Of course, Naruto realized that this Rasengan vanished. And he realized that if he adds lightning release to it, the Rasengan would vanish. And it's a very strong technique. Naruto already mastered the the vanishing Rasengan, because it was much easier for him to control. It wasn't as strong as the wind release one, because the wind release one was just sheer power. Like, the Rasengan that he had in his hand was way stronger, like at least 10 times stronger than the Rasengan that he already had before. This one was like maybe 40% weaker, but Naruto then made the stronger one, which was just as strong. But this amount of lightning release would make it so that, well, Naruto added so much lightning release to actually make up for the power and make it as normal, as strong as a Rasengan, and realized that if he threw this one, he could like make a hole in the ground, a pretty deep one. So he didn't want to throw it, but he realized that over time he can make this Rasengan just as strong as a normal Rasengan, and even stronger than a normal Rasengan, because usually if you add a chakra ratio to it, it should be stronger. But of course this one got weaker, and he realized that he needs to master lightning release to an extent where he can use it without even trying, or without even hand seals. Just like the Rasengan, he wants to make every jutsu so easy for him that he could just do it without any hand seals and make it much faster for him. For example, the Chidori and the Lightning Blade and the Lightning Hound, which he has, all need different hand seals, and Naruto actually begins training himself in doing them without hand seals. Of course, the Chidori was much easier for him to do. At first, he tried using only one hand, so the hand seals were one hand, and he was able to do it. And now he's actually trying to do it without anything, with no hand seals. But anyways, he returns home, and he's still not talking to jutsu. He explains to Inari that they won't run away because they're not scared, and also he's not the only one to not have a father. For example, there are a lot of people in his own village who don't have any parents, in fact, no grandparents, no mother, no father, and Inari kind of gets saddened for the people there. But anyways, he doesn't know that Naruto is one of them, and then Inari pretty much gets a bit depressed, and Sakura goes towards him and explains that Naruto is one of those people with no one. And pretty much after this, Inari thinks to himself that maybe he's not in such a bad position, since he still has his mom and everything, while Naruto has no one. He's grown up on his own and everything. And anyway, he's easily able to do the one-hand Chidori, like I said. And now, over the week, he's actually been learning how to use the Chidori with no hand seals, and he's been able to master it. But he was fully out of chakra by the amount of times he did it, and he actually did meet Haku, and Haku did tell him about his precious one. And once Naruto thought of the precious ones to him, the first few things that came to his mind were the people who trained him, Hinata, and the his friends and Team 7. Of course, Hinata came in individually. Naruto didn't understand why she came individually, but it's because Naruto actually did like Hinata from just the beginning. Yes, he actually did have some feelings, but he didn't really realize about it because he's an idiot. And anyways, now, of course, well, the typical shonen character, main character. Anyways, now, Naruto and Team 7 do go to the bridge again, and of course they were expecting Zabuza, and after this, pretty much Naruto and the rest do begin fighting. And just saying, Naruto, sorry, not Naruto, the rest begin fighting because Naruto's actually late. Naruto actually did wake up late, and he saves Inarin, his mother, by actually using the Chidori on the two without any hand seals, and pretty much leaves the clone with them, and just in case something happens. And anyways, Naruto, of course, well, the clone takes them to the town where everyone was like, safe, or they would get protected, and then the clone actually stayed there, but he would disappear if Naruto got in, the original Naruto got in trouble or his chakra was running low. Anyways, of course, once Naruto actually came to the battlefield, he saw Sasuke actually kind of struggling against the two, the Asuras, but then he actually used the Chidori, the Master Chidori, and broke through one of the Asuras, and it came out. But then Haku actually began trying for real, and used a different technique, the Ice Prison, which was actually surrounding Sasuke with with ice walls which have spikes on them. Sorry. Sorry, I just have a bad cough and it's very cool today. And anyways, after this, of course, Naruto actually got in before anything could happen. And once Naruto actually came in, Haku realized that if Naruto and Sasuke were both to fight him, he would lose. And Naruto was already using his Byakugan, and pretty much as, of course, Naruto and Sasuke were fighting Haku, and Haku's actually been way faster than the two. Yes, he's way faster, and he actually got a very good hits on Naruto. But Naruto, at the same time, he was able to block at least one of his chakra points by actually using a counter attack with his gentle fist. And anyways, of course, he got kicked away, and as he did, of course, Sasuke saw that Haku threw Senmon at him, not to kill him, but they were going at very high speeds, which would actually incapacitate him. You see, I know the word. And anyways, of course, Sasuke comes in, and this pisses off Naruto to an extent where his eyes go from white to red to then the Nine Tails, and pretty much he goes into his Nine Tails cloak form, which isn't really the one tail or two tails, three tails, four tails. It's just the Nine Tails power boiling around him and his chakra actually boiling. And anyways, of course, he destroys Haku, and then Naruto actually calms down by seeing Haku's face and says why. And pretty much Haku explains that Zabuza is his loved one and anything. Now, of course, then they hear the sound of 1,000 birds, which then Haku gets in and pretty much takes it for Zabuza, and Zabuza calls him a tool and everything. And Naruto is pretty pissed off at Zabuza. He Hitaka no jutsus him, which then Gato's men appear, and Zabuza takes every single one of them down. And Naruto is actually running very low on chakra after this fight, and pretty much using the Byakugan and everything. Not very low, he was around like 6% of his chakra still left, but after using the Nine Tails chakra, well, before using the Nine Tails chakra, but after using the Nine Tails chakra, it didn't replenish his chakra. He actually used up his chakra and he boiled it around, and pretty much the anger actually weakened a bit of the seal. And Sakura asked Naruto what was it after burying Haku and Zabuza. And Naruto actually respected Zabuza for actually changing and everything. And from then onwards, Naruto always kept in mind that the ninja life isn't easy. The ninja world is full of death, and pretty much he needs to be ready, because at any time he would die, he can die. And anyways, now of course Sakura asks, and Sasuke doesn't know what she's talking about, and pretty much this was actually one of the reasons why Sakura actually wanted to become a healing and a ninja who can heal, because Sasuke had to wait a full week for his injuries to be healed while they were helping out Tazuno build the bridge and everything. But anyways, of course, Naruto, Kakashi actually explains that it's actually Naruto's chakra condition. Even Naruto knew what this was. It was actually the Naruto's chakra boiling up. This did happen before one time in his training, but he was able to be calmed down straight away, and nothing bad happened. No damage was taken, nothing, and no one got injured and everything except for Naruto, because Naruto's body couldn't handle that much chakra back then. And anyways, Naruto, it's just a little chakra disorder that he has for some reason. And anyway, Sakura and Sasuke buy it, and anywho, they return to the village to, of course, get told about the Chunin exams the same day. And after that, Team 7 goes into their own training, and Naruto actually is strong enough and book smart. They are, bro, he's beyond book smart, fam. With books, my G, he can destroy the first part of the exam. And anyways, of course, it begins. But here, both Naruto and Hinata actually do Naruto finishes quickly, and as he was actually walking towards the front, he actually gave Hinata a paper, a little piece of paper with every single answer in it, and Hinata copied them down, and she got everything right too. And she thanked Naruto, and Naruto just winked and went off. And anyways, of course, in the end, every single team that passed in the original passed as per normal. And anywho, of course, Team 7 would then go on to the second part of the Chunin exams, which Naruto would still have to go to do his business, take a piss. And after this, once he returns, he sees that Sasuke is already on the ground. Sakura is struggling to fight Orochimaru, but right as Naruto arrives, Orochimaru sees that Naruto came, and he actually got caught off guard, and Sakura was actually able to punch him right in the chest very, very hard. And Orochimaru got kind of pissed off because this reminded him of a bit of a Tsunade, and he actually went to poison Sakura. And as he tried, Naruto came in and said, "No, you don't." And as he says that, Naruto pretty much uses fire release. And yes, during this 2 weeks, Naruto was learning how to use fire release with all the chakra natures, all the techniques that he knew with no hand seals, and he knew a few of them with no hand seals. And remember, he was trained by the Hokage, so the Hokage wanted Naruto to learn every single jutsu known to the Leaf Village. And anyways, of course, now Naruto, of course, he did ask the Hokage to teach him he did ask the Hokage who knew the Rasengan other than the full Hokage, and he did find out about Jiraiya, and the Hokage asked why, and Naruto showed that he can do it, and the Hokage was very happy with Naruto, even though he did steal the jutsu from the scroll ceiling, which Naruto admitted to. The Hokage is like, if you can learn jutsu like this, I will give you the scroll ceiling at any time, because he actually trusts Naruto a lot. And anyways, now Naruto pretty much using his fire, pretty much saying fire style, fire wall, and pretty much blue fire. Naruto was so pissed that his fire turned blue, and it was much hotter than the original. The snake that Orochimaru got out of his sleeves literally burnt to death, like melted. Naruto told Sakura to take Sasuke and go as far as possible, get shelter, and Naruto will find them in a bit after destroying this one, and he'll get a scroll for them too. And anyway, Sakura says thank you and literally goes off on her own with Sasuke, and Naruto's like, now you die. And pretty much Naruto and Orochimaru have a very, very good fight. And of course, Naruto was actually able to use his 8 trigram 64 palms, and he was so pissed that he actually went off to do it twice. Well, not twice, like literally with an interval in between, but literally twice, and kept going after the 64 palms into the 128 palms, which actually helped him quite a bit, since Orochimaru was actually already, Sakura punched the wind out of him for a second there. Naruto took this opportunity as Orochimaru was still recovering, healing from that wound. Or not healing literally, but recovering from it and getting his breath back. But still, Naruto takes this opportunity and realizes that if Sakura didn't punch him, it would be much harder on him, and literally uses the Chidori to actually stab through his arm, and he actually gets into his shoulder and literally stabs through it. And then with his other hand, he uses the Rasengan to smash the Rasengan, and uses literally fire release to it without even realizing, because of how pissed he was. He's like, he just adds fire release to it and makes a scorching Rasengan, which actually scorches himself too, and smashes it into Orochimaru's face. And as he did, Orochimaru went flying, and since Naruto's arm was in Orochimaru's shoulder, literally the Orochimaru got blown away, and literally the Chidori went from his near his collarbone into his arm, and literally as he went flying, his arm nearly got torn off. But Then he realized that he has to escape, but he continued fighting for a little longer, which was enough for the Sound Trio to find the Sakura. And just saying, Lee did ask Sasuke to fight, but he declined. And anyways, now Sasuke, by now, he already has a 3-to-1 Sharingan once he wakes up, and pretty much takes down the Sound Trio. And once he looked at Sakura, and Lee was on the floor, so he was about to attack Lee, but then Sakura just hugs him, saying, "No, don't do this anymore." And Sasuke comes down, just going into their ship. And anyways, now, of course, now Naruto pretty much finished this fight because Orochimaru escaped, realizing that this body is way too weak. If he was in his real body, he'd easily kill Naruto on the spot. And he realized that Naruto's eyes were were already red after using the 60 full palms. Naruto wasn't using the Byakugan anymore. He was so pissed that he was using Naruto's chakra. And right before he went, he used the five elemental seal, or the 5-pronged seal. And anyways, I'll say it's pronged, even though I don't know what it means. Let me actually search up. Don't understand, I don't need to understand. And anyways, after this, of course, he escapes while Naruto returns to his team, and Lee actually left by now. Sasuke was actually on Sakura, not on Sakura, like literally resting on her lap. And once Naruto returned, they showed that they have the scroll, and Naruto said, "Alright, then we can go. Sorry, I didn't get a scroll." And Naruto was very injured. Like, his arm was bleeding, his eye was actually, he actually got a scar on his eye. Literally, Orochimaru made Naruto get a scar into his eye. Well, his eye was fine, he was still able to open it. It was just a bit underneath his eye, not literally on his eye. But anyways, of course, the scar wasn't going to be permanent because it wasn't too deep. But anyways, Naruto was very injured and he was bleeding quite a bit. And once they returned, Naruto was actually bandaged up. And this went into Sakura actually wanting to learn more healing jutsus, because her team actually is getting quite injured in the past few missions and this test. They got injured quite a bit, and she realizes that if she was a healer, it would be much easier for the other two to continue fighting when they need it. In case something happened and they got injured, Sakura could heal them. And anyways, so this went into her being interested in healing techniques. And anyways, now the preliminaries begin, and pretty much I'm going to cover this next part. Hope you'll enjoy it. Please stay safe. This was the King of Weavers. The next part should be the last part. And anyways, don't forget to subscribe to Ratreet, Miniman123, and my friend Hxmesh. And don't forget to subscribe to the second channel, DB Lover, and follow Shokiro on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, even if I don't post anything. And don't forget to get your good quality anime merch for Beetle Halo. And if you want 5% off on your next $49 plus order, you can get it with the promo code MEME, MEME. And if your order goes over $99 plus, and you want a pretty big discount, like 10% discount, you can get it with the code MEMES, MEMES. And also, if you want to get a good quality lamp from lamptee.com, don't forget to get yourself one. They're actually very nice. I have a Luffy one, and it looks quite nice in my room, and especially at night. And you can get from lamptee.com, and you can get 10% off on any of your orders with the code LAMPTEE-the King of Weebs, LAMPTEE-the King of Weebs. And everything is spelled capital in the King of Weebs except for O and F, and LAMPTEE, the L is capital, everything else is lowercase, like I said. And the dash can't be capitalized or anything. But anyways, my darklings, you're dismissed. This was the King of Weaves, and peace.